Hi guys, I'm Debbie with Debbie J's Crafting Corner, and I'm happy to be here on the Ranger Ink YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be making a card using the metallic white texture paste, which to be honest I had not tried until just recently. This is lovely. I'm going to be using that. I'm going to be using the Sunrays stencil from Simon Hurley and Ranger, and I'm also going to be using some of the ink refills from the new Stellar inks. Now I don't have the most recent set yet, but these are some of the other ones, and there's some colors that I know you guys are very familiar with, like Bee Sting and Shooting Star, which are the ones that I'm going to be using today. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm also going to be using the Simon Hurley Start White cardstock for this. First, I'm going to take one of the pages and cut that down to A2 because that is my preferred card size. First, I'm going to tape my stencil down onto my glass mat. This is one from Glassboard Studios that I really like because I'm able to, for stenciling anyway, I'm able to move it around. I also have got a couple of sticky mats. I'm using this one because I'm just going to use this one mat to do all the things, and I don't really want to use the pastes on my sticky mat. So to start this one off, I'm going to add some red color in there. I'm going to be gentle because I don't want my card to move. I've got it taped down onto the mat so that the stencil doesn't move, and now I'm just going to hold everything in place so that my cardstock doesn't move. Because I want those lines to stay crisp, and I'm going to try my best not to get any ink underneath it. I'm also using this stencil that has a narrower point in the middle to use the inks with, because the paste might, if they get too close together, I think it would be a little bit harder to keep them from going underneath the stencil. We're just going to start off with this. And I'm kind of making the darkest part the one right there in the center and have it kind of fading out to the edges. And there we go. I think that looks lovely. I'm going to move this one off to the side, and I'll be cleaning that one up in just a minute. But now I'm going to go ahead and bring this one down. And yeah. Actually, I am going to tape it onto the back of I'm going to tape my cardstock onto the stencil. And the reason I'm doing that is because I do not want any of this to shift. I want to make sure that it stays in place. There we go. So it is up there. Let me make sure that my lines are where I want them to be. Because those parts that are overlapped, that don't have any color under them, that part is going to stay white. One more piece of mint tape and we will be ready to go. Next, I'm going to take some of that metallic white texture paste. Just putting some of that down on my glass mat, and then I'm going to add, not this one, I wanted to use some yellow. So I've already got Bee Sting on my card, so I want to use something that's going to kind of complement that. So I'm going to go with some Shooting Star. I'm going to have this as red and yellow. So I'm just going to add a few little drops. I'm going to start off with 2 in with my paste, and then I'm going to mix those together. So you can make your paste any color that you want, even when it's one of these specialty ones that has got that, like this one has got the metallic sheen, you can mix it together. And I'm not really concerned if it's mixed well. I don't mind if there's going to be some colors that are not quite as bold. So I'm going to go ahead and start putting this down. And just spreading that out. Now you can use your stencil tools for this. You can just use a palette knife. If you use a palette knife, you're able to get some additional texture in there if you'd like, just from those strokes. So it's not going to be completely smooth. And I may need to make some more. First, I'm going to try to gently take a little bit off the top of those plastic pieces and see if I have enough. I may have enough. Ooh, it looks like I do. Okay, looks like everything is covered pretty well. And I kind of like the texture that is there. So I think that's what I'm going to go with. And one more quick swipe across to add a couple little extra streaks going away from the center. And then let's go ahead and take this off. And I think that looks pretty fun. So now I'm just going to leave that to the side and let it dry. While it's drying, I'm going to go ahead and clean up all of my tools, my desk, my stencils, the whole bit, so that the paste doesn't dry on there. Because if the paste dries on there, it could be a little bit difficult to remove. I don't know about you guys, but I am always impatient. So I'm going to take my heated tool and try to speed up some of the drying time on this, but look at the texture on that and the shine. I think it is just so pretty. And this would work with lots of different color combinations. I think it is about dry. I'm going to chance it. The best way, of course, is to let it just sit to the side and dry. Now, my card base is A2 size, so it's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I've trimmed down my mat to be about a 1/4 inch smaller than that to give it 1/8 of an inch all the way around. That's my preferred. So that means I need to cut this one down by a 1/2 inch on 2 sides to make sure that it's going to be an 1/8 of an inch in further too. So I just have to decide, where do I want the center to be? It's already a little bit offset. You can tell this side is a little bit bigger. This side, there's a little bit of the paste that's missing, so I think that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to just trim off that little bit there and just be careful. It's possible that this isn't dry enough, but it's kind of sticking a little bit. That's okay. That's just going to add to the texture. Okay, so now let's go. I kind of want to keep it in the center, so I'm going to go with trimming this down to, I'm going to go 1/4 inch off of this side and 1/4 inch off of this side. And then I'm going to just trim any additional that I need to off of the bottom. So this is going to be 3 3/4. I think. I may have just mismeasured. If I did, that's okay. No, I did right. Okay, 3 3/4. Which is a 1/2 inch shorter, right? And by 5. 3 3/4 by 5. And I think that is about centered. If it's not, that is totally fine too, because no one's going to know what my plan was. Alrighty, so this looks really pretty. And that's going to fit right in the center there and give me the 1/8 of an inch. But one thing I always love to amp up all of my cards just a little bit is I need to add some foam. So I've got some foam tape here. This is just some Scotch foam tape that I got off of Amazon. And we're going to add us some foam to the back. And I can tell that the top front is still a little tacky because it's trying to stick to my mat. Alrighty, let's go ahead and put this down. One thing that helps me to add my card base on there, my card panels straight, is the Pear Blossom Press A7 T-square, because it's got this little 1/8 of an inch jig. So I'm going to use that. It's actually got an 1/8 of an inch and a 1/4. So I'm going to use the 1/4 one from the edge of my card, and that's going to take me into that. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to use the 1/8 of an inch from the card mask, because that way I can actually slide it in there and it's going to work. There we go. There we go. And then to finish it off, I've got a sentiment that is just sitting off to the side. It's perfect. This is actually from scrapbook.com. It's one of their happy birthdays. I'm going to add another little bit of foam. That's one of the reasons I like this foam. It is a 1/16 of an inch thick, which means I can put multiple layers on things. And it's not going to be too thick to go through the mail. And I think I'm going to actually put this at an angle. Didn't that turn out so fun? Look at that shine. I'm loving it. I also used some foil cardstock for that. But anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, I hope that this inspires you to take out some of those things that you may not have played with in a while, like the metallic white texture paste and some reinkers. Who knew? Yeah, use some of the stuff that's in your stash, and let's see what kind of magic you guys can create, and I want to see it. So make sure that when you're posting on social media, you tag Ranger Ink and tag Debbie J's Crafting Corner, because I would love to see what you guys create. You guys have a wonderful day, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye, guys.